Hi, guys. Welcome back to our daily practice questions. It is day 299, and I'm just going to take it back to some questions that I did earlier this week. But for some reason, y'all couldn't hear the audio. I don't know what's going on. So I figured just let's re record it so that y'all can actually not only see the questions, but hear me walk through them. But y'all know, before I get into any of that, I always like to do my introduction and disclaimer before getting started. So, for those of you who are familiar with me, hey y'all. For those of you who are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Brittany Weinstock, a family nurse practitioner and the founder and CEO of the Nursing Studio. I provide resources, tools, review courses, review videos, review books, digital flashcards, Q banks, one on one sessions, and more to assist nurses as well as nurse practitioners with success on their boards as well as in practice. I've been doing this since 2015, assisting nurses and nurse practitioners internationally with exam success. But y'all know my disclaimer and reminder is that we know there's no absolutes in medicine. We treat on a patient by patient basis, and any of the questions that you see here, I have designed and created based on the current guidelines that are being tested on the ANCC as well as the AANP exam. Now, any of my videos where I'm teaching on things that we currently do in practice, I will always say that so there's no confusion. So, with that being said, let's get into question number one for today. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you're not missing any of my videos. And if you would like to gain access to my MP Test Success Toolkit, it is free and linked in the description. My website is also linked in the description, and it houses all of the resources that I do offer. And as always, I like to direct you to my business profile by simply just going to Google and searching the Nursing Studio. It will bring you here where you can find my contact telephone number, link to my website, and testimonials from previous review students. All right, y'all, let's get into these questions. All right, so question number one stated a 30-year-old woman presents with weight loss, palpitations, tremors, and diffusely enlarged thyroid. The labs show a suppressed TSH and elevated free T4. What is the first line treatment for this condition? Is it A, methimazole, B, levothyroxine, C, liothyronine, or D, PTU? Take a moment and tell me what you got in the comments, y'all. All right, so I always recommend reading the stem of the question first, as it allows you to slow down to ensure you're answering what is even being asked of you. So here the stem of the question states, what is the first line treatment for this condition? And I always say if they're asking for a treatment, run it back and see if they provided you with a diagnosis. And if they have not provided you with a diagnosis, you got to run it back a step further and look at those assessment findings so that you can determine what it is. So this patient has weight loss, palpitation, tremors, an enlarged thyroid, and the lab show that the TSH is suppressed, and then the free T4 is elevated. So this is classic for hyperthyroidism. Remember, with thyroidism, the terminology hypo and hyper will be opposite than the TSH value, right? So here the TSH is suppressed, so think hyper, but the T3 and T4 will be equivalent to the terminology. So you see here the free T4 is elevated, just like hyper. And then also I like to say, my Brittany's brilliance for hyperthyroidism. Think of somebody that is hyper. They're running, 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 running. So you're running, your heart rate is up, so you'll have like tachycardia. They may have palpitations. They'll lose weight because they're running and they're moving so excessively, right? So just think of those symptoms, whereas hypo would be the opposite. So now that we have walked through knowing that the diagnosis is hyperthyroidism, what is the first line treatment for it? And the answer is A, methimazole. All right, question number two. A 46-year-old woman presents with fatigue, weight gain, dry skin, and constipation. Physical exam reveals bradycardia and periorbital puffiness. Which of the following lab findings confirms primary hypothyroidism? Is it A, low TSH and a low free T4? Is it B, a high TSH and a low free T4? Is it C, a high TSH and a high free T4? Or is it D, a low TSH and a high free T4? Take a moment and tell me what you got in the comments, y'all. All right, and STEM the question states, which of the following lab findings confirms primary hypothyroidism? So again, we just talked about this. So the TSH is going to be opposite than the terminology definition, right? So hypo means low, so we know that the TSH should be high. So we can narrow this down to B and C, right? And remember that I told y'all the T3 and T4 will be equivalent to the medical terminology. So hypo means low, so our T3 and T4 should be low. So that answer is B. You would have a high TSH and a low free T4. All right, and lastly, question number 3. A 50-year-old woman is diagnosed with hypothyroidism. She has no cardiac disease and is otherwise healthy. What is the first line treatment? Is it A, methimazole? Is it B, levothyroxine? Is it C, liothyronine? Or is it D, PTU? Take a moment and tell me what you got. All right, and stem of the question states, what is the first line treatment? All right, so again, when they're asking for a treatment, look and see if they provided you with a diagnosis. And they have. They have a 50-year-old woman with a diagnosis of hypothyroidism. So what is the first line treatment for hypothyroidism? The best answer is B, levothyroxine, aka Synthroid, right? Make sure you know your medicines, both generic and brand name. So however they present it to you, you can get those correct. All right, you guys, I hope you found this helpful. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with whoever you may think may find this beneficial as well. But y'all know what to do. Y'all make sure y'all meet me back here. And if you need any of the resources that I do offer, feel free to reach out to the nursing studio. You can give us a call, shoot us a text message, or shoot us an email. And as always, everything that I do offer is linked in the bio of this channel, including my website. And as I mentioned previously, my website is also linked in the description of this video. All right, y'all. Y'all know what to do. Y'all make sure y'all meet me back here. Happy studying. Bye, y'all.